anyone who's meant to be here, I'm sure is, and it's a beautiful group of people at this very moment. So thank you for everyone who has a sincere interest here. And to even have a single person with a sincere interest in something like this is already itself a great thing. Thank you so much, Bindaji, for bringing what you have inside of you and with you as into the world for the rest of yourself and us. And oh my goodness, now Invincible loves you. He says love times 3. That's beautiful. I love that. But thank you for the class, and I'm looking forward to maybe a little bit of discussion on practice and path with this 3rd chapter, although I don't know enough to even say that's the case. And remember, everybody who might be new and listening to a replay, that we're here on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, 8:30 p.m. IST, and that the weekdays are Taittareeya classes right now, and then we'll be moving into something else in June. Thank you so much, Bindo.
Thank you, Atmishi. Welcome, Prasad. Namaste. Welcome all of you. This is the 50th class of Taittareeya, and we are into the 3rd chapter. Let me do the invocation. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Mahatbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutravasya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. The 3rd chapter, Shanti Mantra. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Vidyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So, in the last class, we did the first section, Pratamanuvak. Virgurvai Varuni Varunam Pitaram Upasasara Adihi Bhagavo Brahmeti Tasmad Etat Provacha Annam Pranam Chakshusrotram Manovachamiti Tagam Hovacha Yadova Imani Bhutani Jayende Yena Jatani Jivanti Yat Prayanti Apisam Vishanti Tad Vijiknyasasva Tad Brahmeti Sa Tatapo Tapyata Sa Tatapat Taptva. Then the 2nd onwards, the next 5 are to be discussed in one go. So I'll chant all them together and then we'll take one by one. Annam Brahmedi Vyajanat. Annad Deva Kalu Vidani Bhutani Jayande Annena Jatani Jivanti Annam Prayanti Abhisam Vishanti Tad Vijnaya Punareva Varunam Pitaram Upasasara Adihi Bhagavo Brahmeti Tagum Hovacha Tapasa Brahma Vijiknyasasva Tapo Brahmeti Sattatapo Tapyata Sattatapat Taptva Prano Brahmeti Vyajanat Pranadhyeva Kalu Imani Bhutani Jayande Pranena Jatani Jivanti Pranam Prayanti Abhisam Vishanti Tad Vijnaya Punareva Varunam Pidaram Upasasara Adihi Bhagavo Brahmeti Tagum Hovacha Tapasa Brahma Vijiknyasasva Tapo Brahmeti Sa Tapato Apyata Tat Tatapat Taptva Mano Brahmeti Vijanat Mano Hyeva Khalu Imani Bhutani Jayante Manasa Jatani Jivanti Mana Prayanti Abhisam Vishanti Tad Vijnaya Puraneva Varunam Pidaram Upasara Adihi Bhagavo Brahmeti Tagam Hovacha tapasa brahma vijijñāsasva tapo brahmeti sa satapo tapyata tat tatapataptva vijñānam brahmeti vyajanāt vijñānena khalu imani bhūtāni jāyante vijñānena jātāni jīvanti vijñānam prayanti abhisam vishanti tad vijñāya punareva varunam pitaram apsasara adīhi bhagavo brahmeti tagam hovaca tapasa brahma vijijñāsasva tapo brahmeti sa tatapo tapyata sa tatapataptva anando brahmeti vyajanāt anandeva kalu imani bhūtāni jāyante anandena jātāni jīvanti anandam prayanti abhisam vishantīti. I'll stop at that place because this is the progression of the contemplation or tapas taken up by Bhrigu when he was told, when he went and asked his father, Adihi Bhagavo Brahma, please enlighten me or please teach me what is Brahman. So he said, Annam Pranam Chakshushrotram Mano Vachamiti. That is Annam Pranam, then Chakshushrotram Mano Vacham is a group. As that is all what he said. Then he adds, Yatova imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti abhisam vishanti tad vijijñāsasva tad brahmeti. So this was the instruction. Tad brahmeti. That is Brahman. What? Tad vijijñāsasva. Please understand or be firm in your conviction about what is Brahman. Yadova imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti abhisam vishanti. From which imani bhutani jayante. All this, whatever is included in the annam pranam chakshus shrotram mano vacham, in that category, whatever is there, that is the entire creation, is born out of that. Yena jatani jivanti. Whatever has been born is sustained by that. From where it comes, the same thing sustains it. Yet prayanti abhisam vishanti. When at the time of dissolution or when they return back or when they are becoming no more available for the transaction, prayanti means prayanam is transmigration or death, all those things. But whenever these creation, when they end their exhibition or end their presence in the transactional world, abhisam vishanti, they dissolve or they merge back to the source from where they have come. Tad vijijñāsasva. Please, through the understanding, have the firm conviction about it, and that is Brahman. He didn't give what is Brahman, like in the second chapter, Satyajnanam Anandam Brahma was given to us by the Upanishad. But Varuna did not tell that as the definition for Brahman. So, sa tapotapyata. So, Bhrigu started doing this contemplation. Tapas. Here the tapas is not austerity in the typical sense where you do different type of austerities for the purpose of achieving certain things. Here the tapas is because the word previous instruction was tad vijijñāsasva. So what is to be firmly made into a conviction of yourself cannot be achieved by an activity. So the activity which is recommended here is an activity of contemplation. Sa tapas tattva. After having done the tapas, he comes to a conclusion. Annam Brahmedi Vijanat. He concluded that Annam is Brahman. Annam means here all matter, that is gas, liquid or solid, doesn't matter. All the three, or whatever is in the gross formation. Annad eva khalu imani bhutani jayante. So it is only one which is producing the another one in the world, in the transactional world. So a seed of a tree is giving rise to a tree. The egg of a bird is giving the bird another bird. The progeny of animals and human beings, all of them are born out of what the food is being consumed by the producers. So they Bhutani Jayante, all this creation is taking place from because there is matter which is available for conversion or for creating something new. Annena Jatani Jivanti, whatever has been created, they are sustained, they live only when the annam is available. Your annam, in some traditional this thing, they mention it as food. Food also you can take as a means of for contemplation purpose. Annam prayanti avisam vishanti. When the food is discarded or stop consuming food for the sustenance of the body, or when the matter is dissolved, where do the matter merge back? They go back to from where they have come. So he thought that it is a cycle within the cycle of food only, or the matter only. So what comes from gas as a salt or a liquid goes back as salt and back into gas. What comes from matter conversion into liquid or gas it goes back to matter. Like that, he thought that this cycle is the one which is going on. That is why he said, Annam Brahmedi. Annam is considered as Brahman. Or in some school of explanation, they said Annamaya Kosha, or the sheath of food sheath, which is there in the earlier descriptions also we saw that. So he thought that this is the right. Tad Vijnaya. Then, is it right or not? He is not very sure about it. So he goes back to the father who is a teacher to know whether he is right or wrong. The father has only same thing in it. Tad Vijnaya, Tad Vijiknyasasva. Tapas. Tapasa Brahma Vijiknyasasva. Through tapas, only you can know Brahman. What you have known, I am not denying it is not Brahman. But it is not Brahman in the sense it is as Brahman's nature. But whatever has come from Brahman cannot be different from Brahman. So that is why you thought that these are Brahman. But since they have not, you cannot say that because they undergo modification. Whereas Brahman is changeless. Therefore, you have not really understood what Brahman is. Punareva Parinam Pitaram Upasasara Adihi Bhagavo Brahmedi. So he asks Father again, please teach me what is Brahman. Tagum ho vacha. So he repeats again the same thing. Tapasa Brahma Vijiknyasasya. Only through contemplation you can know Brahman, not by your chakshu srotram mano vacham. By using your sense organs or by method of in the world outside, if you look at it, you will be seeing only what is visible for the eyes, what is available for the ears, what can be named and formed or labeled. Only those things can be seen and heard. and heard, and can speak only that, and that is what will go into your mind. But that is not what is Brahman in the true sense. Tapasa Brahma Vijnasasva. So you have to go do it by that form of contemplation again. Tapo Brahmedi. In the tapas, you will realize what is Brahman. So he repeats again. So he goes to do the tapas. Sas tapasat tattva. Prano Brahmedi Vejanat. Then he thinks that the beings are living because of the prana. If there is no prana, then none of them can live or be in transaction or in activities. So prana deva khalu imani bodhani jayande. All these things are being only in where the prana is available. We are seeing reproduction happening or life continuing. Therefore, pranena jatani jivanti. This life goes on because of prana. Pranam prayanti abhisam vishanti. When prana leaves the body goes back to the earth, which the annam has gone back to the earth. And prana has gone back to the air, vital air, has gone back to the air again. Therefore, they have gone to the respective categories. But he is not sure about it. Again, Brahman cannot be two, annam and prana. If annam goes back to earth and prana goes back to the air, Brahman cannot be either. It's not annam, we know for sure. Prana also we cannot, because there is two in it. There cannot be something. He was still not very sure. So he tad vijnaya, to know that, he goes to the father again. Punereva varunam pitaram upasasara. He asks the father again. Adihi bhagavo brahmedi. Tagum ho vacha. Tapasa brahma vijijnasasva. Tavo brahmedi. The father has only one thing to say. Tapasa brahma vijijnasasva tapo brahmedi. By contemplation alone, you can come to know what is Brahman. Nothing else can give you the knowledge of Brahman. So, sa tapaha atapyata. He went back to do the contemplation. After having done the contemplation, he comes back to a conclusion saying that Mano Brahmedi Vyajanat. Everything is in the mind only happening. The annam, the prana, etc. All are in the mind. The mind is the one which is to be taken as Brahman. Manasa hi eva khalu imani bhutani jayande. Because they are all created by the mind. Because mind, when it thinks, he started now thinking about the world of dream. Where did the world of dream come from? It all came from the mind only. So, Manasa hi eva khalu imani bhutani jayande manasa jatani jivanti mana prayanti abhisam vishanti. And where did the entire world of dream go back? They lived in the mind, enjoyed every activity in the mind, and when they decided to go back, where did they vanish? They didn't they go back into the mind? So he is now left the waking world and he has gone into the dream world. And then he thinks that it is the mind that's the Brahman. But he was not sure. If mind is the Brahman, how is that I'm not able to do the same thing in the waking? The waking also should be something similar, but that is what is my experience. So there is something which I'm not able to understand properly. So he goes back to the father. Tad vijnaya punareva varunam pitaram upasasara. Adihi bhagavo brahmedi tagum ho vacha. Tapasa brahma vijijnasasva tapo brahmedi. He goes and asks the father again. I thought it was mind which is the Brahman, but then I know that I'm not very sure. I was not convinced about the mind as a Brahman. So please teach me what is Brahman. So father says, Tapasa Brahma Vijijnasasva. Contemplate. You are not contemplating the way it should be contemplated. You feel that you have got an answer and you are not able to get convinced about it. Before that, you are coming back to me asking whether you are right or wrong. When the conviction takes place, it will be known to you. You don't have to come to me. Because only through conviction or the contemplation which results in the conviction, one can know Brahman. So, he says that please go back. Tapasa Brahma Vijijnasasva. Tapo Brahmeti. So he goes back again to contemplation. And after having contemplated anything, now he come to the Vijnana. Vijnanam Brahmeti Vyajanat. Vijnanaedyeva Kalu Imani Bhutani Jayante Vijnanena Jatani Jivanti Vijnanam Prayanti Abhisam Vishanti Iti. So here he is talking about Vijnanam. Some people translated it as intellect, some people as awareness, some people as consciousness. But basically, Vijnanam here, we should take it as the awareness or the bodham in which we experience everything, including ourselves. I am experiencing myself. My own being is experienced in my awareness. So, from the Jagrat, from the Swapna, now I am coming to my awareness part of it and saying that it is in awareness that everything is getting born, and that is sustained only as long as I have got awareness. So they are living in awareness, and when I do not have awareness in my deep sleep, all these things is merging back. Vijnanam prayanti abhisam vishanti. But he was not convinced about it. He was thinking that awareness as an experience happening in the antakarana. The experience is personal in nature, and my experience of waking and dream is for me. So it has to be something to do with my antakarana or my inner equipment. But if my inner equipment is the word everything, then I should be Brahman. My inner equipment should be Brahman. He was still confused or not very clear about it. This is what is called Ajnana Samshaya Viparya, or the category with which the conviction is not happening. And when it happens, there won't be any doubt further. That conviction will be, that is Brahman. So here also he was not very satisfied with his own tapas or contemplation. Punareva Varunam Pitaram Upasasara. He goes back to his father again. Adihi Bhagavo Brahmeti. Please teach me Brahman, because I think I have not everything. Something is still not very clear to me. Father says there is nothing more to teach. Yato imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti abhisam vishanti tad Brahma. Please, would go and do contemplation. Tapasa Brahma Vijijnasasva. Tapah brahmeti. So he goes back again. And this is the last time he is going back. Anando brahmeti vyajanat. Anandeva khalu imani bhutani jayante. Anandena jatani jivanti. Anandam prayanti abhisam vishanti. Then he came to this level. Here Anandam, he is referring to that state of nothing otherness, the pure happiness part of it. It was not even the experience part of it, not even the objective experience we were talking about. He was now thinking about that bliss where even the individuality merged back. There was nothing to experience. That nirvishesha, nirvikalpa, nirakara, all those definitions are virtually coming true. And when he contemplated on that state of deep sleep, what is my state at my deep sleep? When he contemplated upon that, he could find out that he cannot negate it. So it is Satyam. And it is a experience not of the mind, but experience of being. That he cannot call it by any name or anything. So yato vacho nivartande aprapya manasa saha is what he has come to. And then it was pure bliss. Therefore, and that bliss, it was not dependent upon anything because there is nothing. But it was bliss. So there is no what you call variation in that happiness of deep sleep. Then don't use the word deep sleep in that state of being. Because as I earlier told you, the deep sleep is a definition given by the waker. I'm not talking about the deep sleep per se. That bliss of not experiencing waking and dream. Don't call it as deep sleep. Because the moment I use the word deep sleep, people will get ideas about it. I don't want that to happen. So the place where you don't experience any waking or any dream, that is where the whole world has come back into exhibition. The exhibit of waking and the exhibit of dream propped up or sprung up from that bliss. And they both dissolved back into it. So, as what Gaudapada said in Mandukya, Adau Andau Yadnati Vartamanebi Tatyadaha. What is there in the beginning and what is there in the end has to be present in the middle also. Or what is not there in the beginning or what is not there in the end cannot have an existence in the middle also. Both way we can use that. So here, it was not there, then it appeared, and then it was not there again. So what appeared has to have come from that, or what is being experienced as a waking or a dream experiences has to have its bearing in that from where it had come. Therefore, he was convinced at this level that not the deep sleep, but that existence awareness of non-duality, Advaita, the non-dual experience of where the waking and the dream was not experienced. That is the Ananda. Saisha Bhargavi Varuni Vidya. Sa Esha. That was indeed. Bhargavi means Bhrigu. What Bhrigu acquired. Varuni means what Varuna has taught. Vidya means the means or meditation. When this Vidya was confirmed by the father to the son, Parame Vyoman Pratishtita. The Parame Vyoman means in the supreme space, in the space of Atman or Brahman. Pratishtita, he was established. Saya evam veda pratitishtati. One who get that state and knows it as his own being or his own reality or the reality of everything. Sarvam khalu imani bhutani. All this reality, everything has that as the reality. One who knows that, Pratitishtati, is well established in it. So the Upanishad is now concluding this contemplation aspect by going from the gross level, food level, to prana, to mana, to vijnana, to finally to ananda. And having now confirmed that by the father and experienced by the son, there was no communication between them. He didn't go back to his father and say, Adihi Bhagavo Brahmeti. He didn't ask the father again. And when the son did not come, the father knew he has realized what he has asked to find out. He has known that. So Parame Vyoman Pratishtita. So he knew his son has been established in the reality of the truth of Brahman. And the Upanishad has abandoned the story of Varuna and the Bhrigu. Now it talks about what happens to the one who has got realization like this. Annavan annado bhavati. So one who has now understood that the Ananda is Brahman, the Vijnanam is Brahman, the Manaha is Brahman, the Prana is Brahman, the Ananda, the Annam is Brahman, and it is from Imavata, Etova Imani Bhutani Jayante, Yena Jatani Jivanti, Yat Prayanti Abhisam Vishanti. That all the appearances or all the creation is from that. They are sustained by that and they dissolve back into that. The Srishti Sthiti Laya aspects of creation is not really Srishti Sthiti Laya. It is that Brahman itself which is now appeared to have taken the Srishti, and then Sthiti, they remain in the multitude, apparently by names and forms. And when the names and forms and the appearances are dissolved, they go back to the source from where they have come. Whether so So all the three, he now understood Annam Brahma, Pranam Brahma, Mano Brahma, Vijnanam Brahma, Anandam Brahma. All of them are Brahma. So Annavan Annado Bhavati. Such a person, he can relate himself to the gross world. Annado Bhavati. He becomes an enjoyer of the world, of gross world. He is no more distinguished himself or separated himself out of the gross world. Annavan Annado Bhavati. Annada means one who enjoys the Anna. So Annavan, one who has identified himself in the gross world of waking, Annado Bhavati. He becomes the enjoyer in the world of waking with the knowledge that everything is Brahman. Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma. Mahan Bhavati. He is treated as a Mahan, or he is considered as great by the waking world. Prajaya. He has progeny, Pashubhi, animals, and Brahma Varchasena. Varchas means brilliance, due to the knowledge of his true nature. He is an embodiment of knowledge now, of knowledge of Brahman itself. And Mahan Kirtya, his fame in the gross world becomes known to others as a brilliance or a man with the knowledge. Such a person is called a Jnani by the gross world. So, this completes the meditation aspect of it. What we have now gone from the first Anuvaka or first section till the completion of the sixth section is the meditation aspect of the whole Upanishad, where this Panchakosha Viveka, or the knowledge of the five aspects of Brahman, not as sheaths of Brahman or as aspects of Brahman, where they are apparently having separation or definitions or distinctions, but the moment you have the contemplation and the meditation we have explained in this, you are gradually upgrading yourself from the gross to the prana, to the mind, to the awareness, and to the bliss of being the Advaita Brahman. And in that, once you are established, you do not have the difference between the Anna and Annada. The food and the enjoyer of the food are not two different things. And his name, fame, whether he has progeny, whether he has got cattle, all of them are not going to make him feel that they are separate. But those who have not got the knowledge will see that as separate. This is the Sarvatma Bhava on the meditation of Brahman, which is being mentioned here, where the Sarvatmatvam is defined in that definition itself. Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti apisam vishanti. That three aspects of this creation, sustenance and dissolution, if it is all depend upon only one, then everything is in that three cannot be different from that one from where it is coming and into which it is merging. Once who knows that, He is the one who knows that everything is Sarvam Atma Eva. Everything is nothing but Atman only, or Brahman only. Now, from here, the Upanishad is talking about Annam. The Annam should not be treated as the food which we are consuming, even though it is mentioned in the translations and all. It should be taken as that aspect of gross aspect which we are transacting with. Annam na Nindyad in the seventh one. This gross aspect of Brahman should not be ill-treated. Nindya means to disgrace. When you do not disgrace even a grain on the beaches or a dust on your spectacle or a dust which is seen in the pinhole sunlight or an atom, everything is falling into the category of Annam. Annam na Nindyat. You should not disregard or disgrace anything what is in there in the transactional world. Tad vratam, that itself is a vratam. Vratam means austerity or a penance which one can take up. Pranova annam. Let it be prana. Pranova annam. Prana is also annam. Shariram annadam. This body is the one which is enjoying the annam. Annadam means enjoyer of food and the enjoyer. Prane shariram pradishtitam. So prana now is the one which is maintaining the sharira or the body. Anna is also there. That is why pranova annam. Here prane shariram pratishtitam. This body is sustained in the prana. Sharire prana pradishtita. It is also the reverse of it. In the body, the vital layers are established. The body is established, body is dependent upon the prana, and the prana is dependent upon the body. Tadedam annam anne pradishtitam. That is why we have to understand that the interdependency on the gross things. Annam anne pratishtitam. So this interdependency of the different aspects of annam pranam has one who knows that and one who gives respect and do not disgrace or disregard that. He is doing the penance, tadvratam. Sayaha edam annam anne pratishtitam veda pratithishtati. Only a person who has thus with due respect and regard accept the interdependency of annam anne pratishtitam, the dependency of the annam anne or the interdependency of the two different aspects of the gross world. Veda pratithishtati can be established only in the knowledge. Only when you have that interdependency of the gross as the one is required, and that is the reason why all the earlier statements are coming true. To such a person, Veda Pratitishthati. Annavan annado bhavati, mahan bhavati prajaya, pashubir brahma varchasena mahan kirtya. Such a person who has established himself in the knowledge of all these things, that is from annam, pranam, pranova annam, shariram annadam, pranam sharire pratishtitam, shariram pranam pratishtita, edam annam anne pratishthitam, sa evam edam anne pratishthitam veda pratitishthati. All that statements which I have explained, he becomes annado bhavati. He becomes the enjoyer of the annam, or he is the one who is giving due respect for the grossness of the world. Due to that, because he is giving that respect and he is known the reality of the gross world as Brahman itself, Veda Pratishtati, one who has established that thus in the Veda or in the knowledge, Mahan Bhavati becomes, he is known as Mahan, a great person. With Prajaya Pashubir, with his progeny and cattle, Brahma Varchasena, by the brilliance of the knowledge of Brahman in him, with which he is living in the world, Mahan Kirtya, his fame also becomes equally great. Therefore, at the level of, after having understood what is the true nature of ourselves, we should be engaging in the world with the full knowledge of the interdependency, apparent interdependency. Actually, they are all nothing but Brahman only. So that interdependency makes one give due respect to everything in this world. Annam na parichakshida. Annam na nindyad. So therefore, he doesn't disrespect or disregard. And that is why he becomes a person of great fame with the brilliance of the knowledge of Brahman. And whether he is having progeny or cattle or whatever may be his possessions, or with possessions or without possession, Mahan Bhavati, he becomes a great person, or he is known as a Brahmajnani. At this level, I stop this today's class because the 8th, 9th and 10th has to be taken together, which I'll do it on the next Wednesday, because they have to go together. And I'll take the question answer session 10 minutes early today. And we'll continue this in the next Wednesday. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you. Dhanyawad.
Thank you, Binduji. Thank you so much. And so we have the opportunity today of a little bit more time for anyone who would like to come up and discuss today's class and the earlier Taittareeya sessions as well. You'd be welcome to come up. And just remember, we have a general Advaita discussion on Sundays with Binduji where we could bring forward a wider range of Advaita topics and questions. So anyone who would like to, hand raising's open. Please raise your hand and come up and take the opportunity.
Namaste, Venkat.
Hari Om, Binduji.
Hari
Binduji,
Om.
this is now really bringing everything together. Binduji, I'm just trying to now navigate through today's teaching. Now there is no kosha here. Basically, there's no limitation. Each of the annam, pranam, each of this, now it applies to everything, the entire creation.
Yes.
Prano Brahmeti. So this is now not limiting. That is one complete clear observation, because earlier in the prior classes it was limiting. Here it is not limiting. It is openly unlimiting.
Yes.
There is one place I want to ask you was Tapasa Brahma Vignasasva Tapo Brahmeti. This contemplation itself is now called as Brahman. That is the most interesting, because it covered everything. Then it is even the method used to contemplate itself is Brahman. That is, I think, can we go a little deeper on this? Tapasa Brahma Vijnasasva.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate more here?
Right. Tapasa Brahma Vijijñāsasva. Tapasa means by austerity, or here contemplation in this particular context. Brahma is Brahman. Vijijñāsasva means realize yourself or understand or know. So through contemplation, please know what is Brahman. Is that statement, Tapasa Brahma Vijijñāsasva. And when he was told that, he started from the gross aspects of creation. That is what is called the Annam. Annam has got another meaning, is food. Okay. Here it is not talking about the food aspect only. He is talking about the grossness of creation. Grossness doesn't mean the material grossness. The grossness of creation includes gases, solids, liquids, and imaginations. All of them are included in the Annam. So, these which are labeled or which is having a name and a form, all come under the category of Annam. So that is where he started his contemplation, thinking that because the definition given was from which everything of the creation comes, in which they are sustained, and on dissolution, into which they go back. Tad Brahmedi, that is Brahma. Tad Vijijñāsasva, and that has to be contemplated upon to know it. Because it is not something which you can see with your sense organs or the mind. So where there Annam Pranam Chakshus Chotram Mano Vacham Iti, when that definition was given in the first section, we know that all the experiences will categorize into gas, solid, liquid, and imaginations, which is having a name. All of them are caught into Anna. So when he went and contemplated upon that, it was not matching with the definition which was studied in the second chapter, Bhrigu Brahmandavalli. Because Brahman is known as avikari, where there is no modification to it. Then there is Nirguna, Nirakara, all those definitions which are, there is no attribution you can give to Brahman. But everything which is in the gas, solid, liquid and imagination, which has got names and forms, have got categorization. So this categorization, what we do, cannot be applicable when it comes to Brahman. Because he has known there is Brahman, and that is why he went to his father asking for Adihi Bhagavo Brahmedi. Please educate me or please enlighten me what is Brahman. Then he drops the everything and then goes to prana. That prana is the two aspects which we can take. The prana as a Panja prana, or prana can be also taken as Virat. Because if you remember the Taittareeya Upanishad, there we knew that, it is prana which has become mana in the creation. So that is where our study of the other Upanishads comes handy for us. So he knew that prana is also not Brahman. Then he thought it is the mind, because everything is in the mind. So he thought it is the mana. Then he understood that mind is also fickle and it keeps on changing. It is not sturdy, achala, or that there is no movement in Brahman. There is no changes in Brahman. Nischala. So that is not happening when you are in the mind level. That is why then he drops that also and goes to the Vijnana. Vijnana here is not the intellect, but the awareness with which everything is known. But that also is part of the creation, or part in the creation only it is there. Because when the creation is not there, it should apply that. That is, yat prayanti abhisam vishanti. When the dissolution takes place, that it goes back into it, Brahman. But that awareness, if I am taking, when there is no awareness, the Brahman cannot be known. Therefore, he knew that this awareness with which he is knowing everything, or this consciousness through which everything is known, is also a part of the physical body, or the mind, intellect, or our brain, or whatever things you want to call it as an internal andakarana, inner instrument. But that inner instrument is not functional when both the waking and the dream experiences of the world of the creation do not exist. That state is what is known as bliss, or the ananta. Bliss because there is nothing other than that. When there is something other than that, there cannot be bliss, because Judiyadvai Bhayam Bhavati. From the second we are having limitation, it limits us, and we limit that. Plus, the presence of that is a chance for me to be afraid of it. idaramandaram gurute yata tasya bhayam bhavati. So from that point of view, it cannot be in the waking, it cannot be in the dream, or it cannot be what the waker calls as a deep sleep. But there is something where the waking, dream and deep sleep, or all the three, because the waker also not there, therefore the deep sleep is also not there. But I am there in that where there is no second. I cannot call it as deep sleep, even though the example is used as deep sleep. I cannot call it as deep sleep because deep sleep is a nomenclature or a definition of a waker. But when the waker is not there, how can I use the nomenclature of the waker? Therefore, that is what is called the bliss or ananda. And he realized that only the definition of Brahman is suiting only when it comes to ananda. It is satyam, because it is unchanging. It is jnanam, because it is not jada. And it is ananda, because there is nothing other than that. Therefore, it is infinite, or there is nothing to delimit or limit it or make it lesser. So all these definitions are suiting only in the ananda level. Therefore, he doesn't go back to the father and ask me for a confirmation. And father also understands that. This is what the whole nutshell, if I have to put, the tad vijijnasasva means this is how he contemplation, and with that he realized Ananda is Brahman.
I think Banerjee, thanks for summarizing this entire session in few minutes. This line really helps remove some variations like Vijnana. It's not intellect. You put it rightfully. Now, I'm trying to now go to the next thing you took up, that annam na nindyat tadvratam. So you should not treat food with respect. This is also goes back to growing up. We are not even allowed to leave a grain of rice on the plate and go wash your plate without anything left. That is a check. And after I've seen there are 5 small group of rice you put on the side of the plate or the banana leaf. Give pranaya swaha, vanaya swaha, that you give the annam to the prana, and then give water, and then you start the food. Basically, even consuming food is divine. This is now coming together. That respect was built into the cultures itself.
Yes.
This prana anna, right, Banerjee? The prana annam that is now connected. This sharira has been brought in, and the sharira pranam pratishtita. That this whole body is eventually made of food. Even someone dies, the body it starts perishing and to become food for even the germs. Quickly it got decaying, and it become food for even everybody else to consume that as food. The body as food. Moment prana leaves, the body is useless. That it start disintegrating. This sharira prana pratishtita, this is interconnectedness. This sharira, the formation of sharira with annam, now coming to picture. Is this sharira, that formation, essential for prana to function?
Not only the prana is it function prana sharire pradishtam, shariram prana pradishtam. That both are there. There is a mutual dependency.
Yeah, otherwise it will collapse. The body will
Yes.
collapse. But in a stone or something, there is no prana. Or this prana is unique for the formation that is interconnected there. So hence this tadaman, that's why that is tadeta danna manne pratishitam. Hence the anna is pratishtita in anna itself. So it is sort of concluding the sharira. Can we go little? Is this out of scope? What
No,
is
no, no,
Sharia?
no. Here you should understand, Venkat, that the rishis have understood that even a stone is not an inert stone as we predict or we depict it. They see life even in a stone, in the sense that today the science also is saying that they are made of electron, proton, everything, and the electron is spinning in the center, neutron and protons are there. So there is movement even as whether you take a silica or a carbon or any other material. We may call it as a inert material from our point of view because we don't see life like how we see life in human beings and animals and birds, etc. But rishis, for them, there is this prana or life in everything, every aspect of it, every annam. That is why prano va annam. Prano va annam. Va means whether it is prana or annam, doesn't matter. That is how you can see the vision of the rishi was to treat every atom as a molecule or the finite part of it from the biggest one, what is Brahman, and the atom. There is no difference. So that is why the prana, sharire pradishtitam, shariram prane pradishtitam. When the body, if you are looking at the body, it is depending upon the prana. Or if you are looking at the prana, it is being present in every body. So there is a dependency in the body also of the prana. So the mutual acceptance that they are coexistent all the time is what is indicated by that statement.
Doji, going back to contemplate on that Brahma Pucha Pratishtha for each of that even for Panchaprana, each of those configurations are described in Brahmananda Valli, is the Sharira is essential formation for prana to function. Otherwise, prana is inherent. For
Venkat,
yeah,
just a
yeah,
minute.
yeah.
You are seeing Sharira as the human Sharira, and you are talking from Sharira and Prana point of
Any
view.
animal, Bandaji.
Whereas I am saying that every body, whether the body of an atom, has got life in it. Can you see it from that point
No,
of
no,
view?
I'm getting it, Bandaji. I'm totally getting it. In
Yeah,
any atom, there is nothing like inert because there is always activity at an atomic level.
right.
This pancha prana, the five pranas, come alive in either animal or plant formation. Functional organisms where these are evident, the prana and the interconnectedness of annam is evident. When one leaves, other collapses structurally.
Okay.
So that has been described here, bringing Sharira as a placeholder. That is what I was contemplating. Otherwise, I agree with you totally.
Yeah, when you contemplate on that interdependency at the gross level of the human beings or animal being, your Sarvatma Bhava will not come. You need to extend it to beyond the human body or your own body. See, the more we see that while the Swamshikaranam or the applying this knowledge on oneself is recommended in the initial stages. Having done the second chapter, it is the time when we do the reverse of it. That everything is Brahman, that why should I look only at myself? I should be able to see it in every speck of life or every speck of object. I should be able to see myself in that, because as I am produced, everything else is also coming from that. That one is the one which is everything. So there, if I have to have that vision of oneness, I cannot simultaneously maintain a multiplicity. The multiplicity is for transaction purpose. Like, we have transactional purpose, we have people. But when we say family, then the multiplicity of the people is dissolved when it comes to family. Same way to the society, to the world, or to the country, or everywhere. When you go to the larger thing, then the multiplicity cannot stand by itself. So when we grow from an atomic level to the Brahman level, we should apply the same thing also. The multiplicity at the atomic level is no more valid when it comes to a physical body or the gross level as a gas or material or liquid or anything like that. And when all come to all this, the gas can be converted into liquid to solid, all these three can be converted equally. So the differentiation of the gas, liquid, solid, and which we are talking about in the scientific world also should be seen as oneness. That multiplicity should not be seen as separated. It is not a separatedness. It is a separateness for the purpose of transaction. They are one and the same only. And then the multiplicity of different materials which we call, when we look from the gross level, they are all from one only, in the awareness part of it. They are all serving in because of awareness. The name and fames may be different, but from the awareness point of view, they are all objects of awareness or in the awareness. So like that, when we go from the gross to the subtle or the subtle to the gross, we will realize that while the transaction will be effect for because of the names and forms, in reality, there is no difference between the speck and myself. So I should be able to see everything in my own eyes as myself, as not as an individual egoistic level, but as a reality point of view. Then only we can have the Sarvatma Bhava.
Binduji, that Anoriyan Mahato Mahiyan, that explains all, Binduji. Thank you, Binduji.
Thank you, Venkat. Namaste, Ganesh.
Namaste, Binduji. Today I was in the beginning for 10 minutes. I was not there. I was traveling, and later on I could listen to all the things. And Binduji, I have to share these things with you. I feel very intensely that when my guru was, rather, I was with my Guruji for 3 or 4 months in Bangalore, and we used to have a lot of conversations during night times. And today I'm just getting reminded of the words he had told me one day. And he used to tell many a time that I would be talking all these things only to you. During the daytime, many people visit me, but I'll be talking to their frequency, but I don't know why I am telling you all these things. Even I don't know. And you are also so curious. He used to tell all the time. And he said that once for 2 or 3 months he had been in the forest near Shimoga in Karnataka, and he was there meditating all the time. And I used to ask very silly questions. Wouldn't the animals affect you or attack you, and such things I used to ask. And he used to tell certain things which are just the echoes of whatever you have been explaining today. And he used to tell there was a time when he would be uh, wandering in the forest during night time, and there would be for 5 or 6 feet from him, there would always be light, and he could see things very clearly, and no animals would come to him. And he used to say that nothing could be observed as different from me, and everything was light. And whenever I used to eat also, each grain of rice or whatever I used to eat, even that would be a piece of light. And only in light I would be transacting, eating, taking, touching, seeing. All those things are same. And it was a kind of thing, and that experience was with me for about 4 to 5 months. And then later on I came back to the normalcy. He was a supervisor in Bemel, and he came back there, and he used to tell there is no essential difference between Sharira and Vayu. Whatever you are breathing, that itself is Sharira. And whatever your Sharira is, that itself is the breath. And all those things today is getting, I'm just becoming emotional. Those things are getting reflected today in your class. And he used to tell, Anna is everything, and Anna is you, Anna is me. And very, very peculiarly, he used to say at the end of every talk for 3 minutes, he would say, Ilaya, you know that. You also know that. Whatever I am telling, you also know that. You are that. That's what he was telling. And all those things are getting reminded to me in today's class, Bindoji. So I'm very grateful to you for having reinforced or reassured those words of my Guruji. And I just heard my Guruji's tone in your voice today. Thank you, Bindoji.
Thank you, Ganesh. I have no words to say anything.
Namaste, Guruji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome, Rajinder. Did you want to speak?
Hi, thank you so much. Ganeshji, you yourself have become a guru today. What's beautiful words, and thank you for remembering me. That's so amazing.
Rajinder, there's something else coming through your mic that makes it a little hard to hear you.
Yeah, let me try and fix that.
That's getting better.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So I have a question. Most of the time we speak about awareness and subtle awareness, greater gross awareness, or consciousness, or whatever word we want to use. And then we speak of states as though awakening, sleep, and deep sleep. My question relates to the awakening phase. Why is it that I put the glasses on my head and I'm looking for it everywhere? Why is it that my awareness, even in awakening, finds itself, loses itself? What is happening there? What is happening? Let's start with that one. Go ahead, please.
I could not get his question, Rajendra, your question.
Yeah, it's your audio is very difficult right now. It's,
Yes, you
I'm
had a
not
very
sure.
good audio. I don't know whether you're.
Oh, okay. For me,
Okay,
it was the,
Yeah,
can
now
I
it
try?
is better. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
now it is good.
okay,
Very good.
okay, very good. I'll just repeat myself. First of all, thank you to Ganesh ji for remembering, and his remembering.
now he's gone. Yes.
Yes, he's back.
Oh, now he's back. Okay. You started to speak, Rajinder, and then you
Oh,
vanished.
okay. Sorry again. So my question is, what is happening during the awareness stage that we lose in find awareness? That I put my glasses over my head, but I'm looking for it in the kitchen, in the living room. What is happening there with this awareness that loses itself? If you can speak to that. Thank you so much.
Rajendra, what happens is that we are identifying ourselves not what we are, but what the mind and the ego is telling us we are. Even when we are told that are we the body has undergone the change. We know the change is happening to the body. We are noticing that, observing that. Yet, there is a changeless you who is observing that body changes. You can objectify it. Yet, we are unable to dealing our identification that we are not the body. I mean, to the body, as saying that we are not the body, cannot say that. This is what is called the superimposition due to not knowing who we are. So it is happening like you're not knowing your specs is on your head. You are looking for it. Same way, not knowing who we are in reality and what the whole appearing world is their reality. We do not see the reality, and therefore we assume everything is embedded with a name and form as independent existing objects. And then they become the objects, and we are the subject. And this subject-object dichotomy is the reason why we are not able to have the awareness of our true nature, because we are stuck with the dichotomy.
Yes. I totally agree with the description. But why is it happening? Why is consciousness
Right.
arising and losing?
Yes.
Yes.
This why question is a phenomenon of the waker only, because this cause and effect is a built-in syndrome of the waker mind. Because in other two experiences of ours, this syndrome is not there, even though mind is there in the dream. We never ask why in the dream. We don't even ask cause and effect also, we don't look for in the dream. Everything is acceptable there. So why is a question unique, we call as a disorder or a syndrome or a problem or a malfunctioning of the mind of the waker. So when you ask this question, why, this question is only for the waker Rajinder. Now, that question should find an answer only in the waking. For that purpose is why I explained the process. The non-apprehension of your own true nature is the cause which is giving rise to a misapprehension of you as a physical body or the individuality. Therefore, the cause and the effect is given to this waker in the mind as non-apprehension and misapprehension. Otherwise, in reality, there is no non-apprehension or misapprehension, even this very moment, you are that. Tadutvamasi. You are that. But we do not accept it because we are stuck with our mind. This mind, when it becomes free from names and forms, or yado vacho nivartande, aprapya manasasaha, that mind without any labeling, mind, names, forms, everything, the same mind which is asking this question of cause and effect will be rid of that disease or this syndrome or disorder of cause and effect, looking for the cause and effect, because it knows what it is. So the non-apprehension has gone. Therefore, there is no misapprehension also for it. Then you know, Aham Brahmasmi. You know that you are Brahman. Then this question will not be there. You will not say I am Rajendra Jol. You know that Rajendra Jol is an experience of the waker, not you.
But will it help me find my glasses if it's just on my head?
It will find if it is glasses, you have to search for your glasses. But knowing that will not give you your glasses. Knowing that will not quench your thirst. Quench will not satisfy your hunger. It will not satisfy you for money or anything. All that what is there in the waking will have to be done. But when you know who you are and when you are working in the waking, you are no more treating things differently from you. They have their practice, what you call utility. Like the pot, knowing the pot is mud doesn't stop you from using the pot for storing liquid or grains or anything. Same way, knowing that it is a iron piece, that is what is the knife in your hand, you will handle it very carefully. You know it is an iron. There is a hammer, but you won't use a hammer for a knife and a knife for a hammer. Each one of them have got their own utility. That knowledge of the waking is required for the waking world. So for the waking world, if you were to locate your specs on your head, you have to search for it. That can happen only with the knowledge of the waking.
So this means that even when I'm awake, I may not be awake.
There is nothing called awake or sleeping. Awake and sleep are terms of the waker. I told you, the deep sleep is also a definition of the waker. The dream is a definition of the waker. Because we are the wakers who are now discussing it. We do not discuss this in other aspects of our life or our experiences. So what happens is that we need to be knowing our true nature, what is that, and our roles when we are in waking, roles when we are in dream, that we know that they are just appearances in my own awareness, or me as an awareness has the potency to project me as a waker and as a dreamer. When I am not projecting myself as a waker or a dreamer, I am in myself. But the waker will tell that I am in deep sleep. But for me, it doesn't.
That's really interesting. So the fluctuations of the waker, even while he's awake, can put him to sleep, in deep sleep. And how do we understand these fluctuations?
This deep sleep is there even when your waking is going on and dream is going on. Because that is the nature of awareness. It is without awareness, there is no waking, there is no dream, there is nothing in that thing. So the awareness is the substratum in which the waker, the dreamer, or the deep sleep is experienced by us. But our nature is neither the dreamer, nor the waker, nor the deep sleeper. We are pure awareness. And it is awareness, the nature of awareness. We can't change it. That is its nature, to be aware. When we are aware, we accept that we are an individual. That is because we are not knowing we are the awareness of the waking. But we think we are the body, the mind, the intellect, individual. Because that is because when we do not know we are awareness, we think we are the individuals.
Yes, I would have to consider that and better understand. I hear you, but I'm still not able to grasp this very fine spot of being awake or aware and yet losing awareness even while I'm awake, and which is the play of words around being awake. And while awake, I can be in deep sleep. I can be like a zombie. I can be dreaming, and then I can be more awake. But if this is the state of awakening, then we are lost for words to understand what being awake would mean, because we get very much drifted by one thought and another. So that causality, I'm thirsty. I go get a glass of water, and then I forget that the glass is on my head, and then I spend the rest of the time with the glass of water trying to find the glasses. So it's how quickly, how easily we lose ourselves, even while awake. And if I'm not feeling well or feeling a flu, and again, it's not the same state. It's like I'm in a deep sleep, but I'm still awake. So it's fascinating to understand that. Anyway, thank you.
But where is all these things happening, Rajendra? All this story, what you said, where is it happening?
Any story, it's only happening right now that we can share it, right? You said you won't create the story in the dream, but I have had questions in the dream. I've asked why in the dream, why that, and feel disappointed in dreams or happy, and so it's happening right now. So it's it's happening right now in the waking though.
But I am asking, where is it happening? Is it happening in outside you or inside you or in your awareness?
If the glasses are on my head and I'm looking for it in the bathroom, bedroom, then where is it happening? It's happening only in my head. And, yeah.
So that's why, if you take out awareness, can you be there?
I think if you take out awareness, then I'll be even looking in the neighbor's house for my glasses. But
No, I
somehow,
am not talking about the awareness of the glass. I'm
yeah,
talking about awareness of yourself.
I can be, again, it's a where we will get lost in translation, because even when I'm lost my glasses, I could have awareness of myself losing the glasses. So I'm trying to understand what is fluctuating in our spirits. But, why on some days we feel good and we can speak clearly and another day we cannot. Why I have the glasses on my head, I'm still looking around for it. Why do I have it and yet think I've lost it? So what is going on there? So who is asking that question? Why the seeker is asking that question. It's like finding himself in a loop, in a circle, just eating itself.
Yes.
Why? Yeah, go ahead.
That is why when you ask who you are, who is asking the question? You have to ask yourself who you are. I cannot ask who you are,
But it
Rajendra.
doesn't matter, does it? You know who?
Well, that doesn't matter if you don't want to know it. But if you want to know it, does it
No,
matter?
even if you want to know it, that's the point. Even if you want to know it, even once you have known it, you will still forget that the glass is on your head. Yeah? You will still trip and into something else, into another circle. Why is that happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that is, you are saying that it is as good as in knowing there is water in a glass which is on your table will not make you realize where your spectacles are placed in your head, right? Those are two different knowledges or of objects which you are talking about. Here we are not talking about objects and the transaction and the world about it. That will continue as it is. That is why in the Upanishads also said that after having got this thing, he becomes knower of reality, but he becomes still with the progeny and the cattle and everything. He becomes what he is still. He doesn't change. That is why the example of the world will continue, like the mirage is continuing, knowing that it is still not water. The wateriness will continue for the appearance. Same way, knowing your true nature, what is you, what is that is your question of causation. Why am I not able to know that reality of myself? Yet that answer, once even when you know yourself, will not change the world, will not change your transactions, but there will be a different outlook for that. That outlook will make you what the Upanishad tells about is, which makes you stand apart from the rest of the people who are wanting to aggrandize, have the attachments, love, hatred, all those things. That duality transactions will be there. But once you know yourself, you are neither interested in the love nor interested in the hate. Both are equal to you. That untouchability is what is the success of knowing yourself. And with that untouchability, you are not in this world as who you were till then. Till then, everything in the world was touching you and affecting you. When you become untouchable by the world, then you being the world and the world will not touch you, you will be at peace within yourself, and with you being at peace, you will be radiating the peace, and anybody who is coming in and contact you will have the solace and the peace which is your nature in your actions and your behavior. That is where the difference comes.
Thank you, Rinpoche. I allow others to have their questions. Thank you so much.
Artemisia, can we close? Prakash?
Yes, I think.
Sorry, my screen was black. I couldn't respond quickly. Yes, we certainly can. Prakash, would you go ahead and close us out? That would be wonderful.
Yes, definitely. So today's, first of all, heartfelt thanks to Binduji for guiding us through this, the 50th room that we have on Taittareeya Upanishad. See, with all the questions and all the members who came up to ask questions and the participants who were listening, a big thanks for, contributing to the satsang. But one thing I was able to glean from this, the nature of the questions, is the transition from what Bindoji earlier explained as going from prajna to sthita prajna. So this is where Bindoji reminds us of the Sravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. Because the glimpse and insight into something does not necessarily means a shift in awareness. It is an insight into awareness. So the shift is what Binduji, I think, is guiding us. And this is such a valuable thing, or it cannot be valued at all because it is so precious, because it's essentially the nature of who you are. And again, I bow to Binduji for such a profound clarity of teaching. You will not get this anywhere else. This is a very profound clarity. So you have to keep listening to it. Do the Sravana Manana, and that is the only solution, Rajendraji. Or these questions will be answered only when you go deeper and into your own self. And there, you are the only person, like Binduji reminds us. This is your inquiry about yourself. So, so all these replays are available on the YouTube channel. Advaita Retold, it's pasted in the chat. So if you come back to this replay, you can either pick it up from here or you can directly go to Advaita Retold, which I think is a beautiful repository. And our next session is a Q&A on Sunday. Again, Binduji is offering us his time for an hour and a half. So please come in with your questions. And the deeper the questions, I think the more Binduji feels his contributions are validated. And therefore, I recommend that you all come back and ask questions. And then our next session after that is on Wednesday, room 51 at 8:30 IST. With that, I pass the mic on to Binduji to close the room. Thank you.
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you, Atmisha, Prasad, Venkat, Ganesh, and Rajinder for your participation and questions. Thank you all there down listening, and we'll meet on Sunday for Q&A or open house. And I think by next week, Taittareeya Upanishad should be completing. We'll take it up on Wednesday. Hari Om. Good night.
Hari Om. Good night, Binduji.
Good night, Binduji. Thank you.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you. Good night. Hari Om.